I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact focused on personal growth, my Knowledge Workbook series and Creative Healing course can help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about what your ex secretly hopes will happen.
Ooh, it's a secret.
You know, it's interesting because you have to understand that, like I've always said, feelings change like the clouds that move across the sky. So the way your ex is feeling at the time of the breakup will be very different as time goes by.
Right, and they can secretly hope different things in different phases.
And of course, every situation is different and every breakup is different, okay? But we're talking about, for the most part, you know, that's why we always do email coachings where we're going into specifics, right? But because we're looking at a specific situation or breaking it down. But in a case like this, we're kind of talking about what we see happen often after a breakup. Mm-hmm. So, at the time of the breakup, especially if you've done begging and pleading, your ex really wants you to leave them alone.
And that might not even be a secret.
Yeah, that's not a secret because they're telling you, leave me alone.
Yeah, that's true.
The police are telling you to leave them alone. So, there's no secret.
In fact, there's been a public service announcement for you to leave them alone.
Yeah. It's true. Unfortunately, it's very painful when it happens. You can't believe that it's happening. You're shocked that it's happening so often. And it's the last thing you want to do is leave them alone. But that's really what they want. Because in that moment, at that time, they are convinced that they've made the right decision.
Right. And when somebody goes through with a breakup, a lot of times they feel this burst of independence and they want to experience that. So if they're getting a lot of messages from you, if they're getting guilt tripped by you, then that's not going to be in line with them wanting to be independent and be free of this relationship in that moment. I know that can be hard to hear, but this is in the moment.
Yeah. So it's really tough because you feel so personal and everything makes you so sensitive. And I've been there, believe me, I totally understand. Just understand that breakups are a process. Things change with time. And a lot of exes need time to reach out, you know? So expecting them to reach out in 2-3 weeks is unlikely in most cases. Usually they need longer. Of course, it's going to depend on their attachment issues and their attachment style, their mental health, and all those things as well.
Right.
But in the beginning, they're secretly hoping you leave them alone, or not so secretly, if you so poignantly pointed out. But as time goes by and they've had time to miss you, and maybe they're starting to look at your social media again, they start to secretly hope that you will reach out.
Mm-hmm. And that's the irony in it, is they will be very comfortable with the space in the beginning, but there will be a certain period of time where your absence, and this is something we talk about all the time, but your absence is starting to be felt a lot more. And so at that point, they might be secretly hoping that you reach out first. But here is why it's a good idea not to.
Don't do it.
We're not saying that just because they might secretly want you to reach out first, that's the bait that you should take here. We don't want to enable them because we want them to directly communicate with us, right? They still decided to end the relationship. So the ball is still in their court, even if they might secretly want you to reach out first.
You will give them all their power back if they know that you still want them. You need to make them work to get you back because it was their decision.
Right, and they might still be feeling ambivalent at this time. So they might want to hear from you, but they might not be ready to make that step to reach out to you directly.
Yep.
And so it's much better on your end if they can, reach that level of directness to talk with you first and have that level of humbleness to do that.
Yes.
So we don't want to enable them and do that for them. And they also might like the idea of you wanting them, not only for their own validation, but also as a crutch for the breakup, right? Because they may get to the stage where now they have more space than what they're comfortable with.
Yep.
And now they start to feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
If they hear from you first, then that becomes a little bit more comfortable. They're able to cope better with that loss, knowing that you're not too far gone. And this is why it's important not to reach out to them at this point. They're also secretly hoping that you will handle the breakup well. Breaking up with somebody, ending a relationship, it can be really guilt-provoking. You can start to feel really bad for the fact that you know that you're hurting someone, that you're breaking someone else's heart, and that can feel really heavy. So they might be secretly hoping, that you are able to manage it, that you're able to work through this, and this doesn't devastate you.
Yes.
Right? And that's hard because when you end a relationship, another person can react in so many different ways. But their secret hope is that you're doing okay.
Yeah. And imagine it from their standpoint. Imagine that you broke up with somebody and you knew they were devastated and hurt and they weren't doing okay. Would that make you feel attraction? No. That's not going to make you want to go back. If anything, it's going to kind of confirm, oh boy, they're not doing so well. And you're going to feel guilty, right? Oh, I don't want to hurt somebody like that. So if you want to create attraction, which obviously you do, you need to look like you're doing okay. Now, I don't want you going over the top on Instagram, and I know which one of you are doing it in many of your cases, believe me, that you're posting how great you're doing and you're posting all these stories. They're going to see through that, okay? So you got to kind of silently be doing okay. And if they reach out, presenting yourself like you're doing okay. I don't want any dramatic songs or memes or anything like that. You want to look like you have a quiet confidence, like you're doing okay. It creates attraction. The guilt kills attraction. Okay, you don't want that to happen.
And this is not to say that you're supposed to stifle all your feelings after a breakup, but there is a time and place for everything. So we always talk about having a good, strong support system that you can go to. We know that friends aren't always the best at giving advice, but being able to have some people that can lift you up, that you are able to be vulnerable with, along with being able to feel your feelings in the right time and place. So.
Yeah. Not in front of them when you're trying to attract them, okay?
Right.
If you're in a relationship with somebody, yes, you have to learn to be vulnerable then,
Mm-hmm.
but not at this point. This is not the time to do that. Okay, so the other thing that your ex is going to be secretly hoping is that you have really thought about why they ended things, okay? Now, guys, listen up, because men are really struggling with this one. Mm-hmm. Guys, I have seen for so many years, men really struggle to understand why the breakup happened. Mm-hmm. Okay? And so you'll think the reason is A, B, C, and then you'll get in front of your ex claiming about, well, how you're so sorry for doing A, B, C, and they're like, that's not even why I was upset at you. It was X, Y, and Z. Mm. So you have to be really careful, guys especially. Women are more in tuned, mm-hmm. right? I mean, so many guys are saying, she's upset because I didn't really understand what happened. Because, she felt like you didn't hear her. So please be careful in your approach there, that you're presenting with, I've made all these changes. And then she's like, well, that's not even why I left you.
I think this is a really great point. I saw a very interesting video recently, and it was of a mime at an amusement park. Stay with me.
Was it the SeaWorld one?
Yes, it was a SeaWorld one.
I saw him. He's great.
Yes, where there were families that would be walking together, and the woman in the family, she would be carrying the backpack, she would be holding the kids, she would be doing a lot of really the labor to make sure that the vacation is going.
Did I send you that?
You might have.
You might have.
Meanwhile, the man in the family is, just walking hands-free, very relaxed. And so what the mime does at this amusement park is he mimes out, taking out the backpack from the wife's shoulders and puts it on the husband's shoulders. Sometimes he'll even point to the kid to move the kid over to the dad. Yes. And the caption on this post that I saw had said, "The divorce came out of nowhere." And so the joke there is a lot of times the women in the household will be taking on a lot of the emotional labor, but a lot of just those household duties. There can be an unequal share of the work there.
Yeah.
And sometimes, because things just feel so normal and fine, and they might not be in your face, we just get used to the patterns in a relationship. We don't really notice those being issues until, it's really set on fire, until it's really inflamed. So.
Yeah, something you really got to think about all this stuff, okay? So many of you guys just get focused on where your ex is at and what they're doing. You're not really thinking about how you got to this place. And if you're the one that wants to repair it, you have to really consider those things and why they left. So you really want to take a lot of time and effort to think about what happened, why the relationship didn't work out, what they were upset about. Don't be so quick, men especially, to say, I know it was ABC and I know these were the issues, because a lot of times you're going to find out, that's not what was bothering her. And then they point it out to you, because then they're going to be angry.
Right? And if you think about it, it's something that we all really secretly hope for. We secretly hope that our partner gets it, that whoever we're talking to gets it, that we're understood. And so that's really the secret hope there, is that they feel heard and listened to.
Absolutely. So do that creative healing course, do those workbooks, 30 minutes a day. All of the stuff that we're talking about is in there, because you're going to have thousands of reflective questions, and you're going to watch videos and answer questions, but you're going to learn so much that you're going to be able to point these things out and say, oh, no, that's what she meant when she did that, or that's why she was upset by that. Right.
In the same token, they also secretly hope that they made the right decision for themselves, right? And this one's a bit hard to hear also, right? But nobody wants to really go back on their decision. We all make decisions based on the information we have at the time. We just do our best with what we're given. So they're secretly hoping, man, I hope I made the right choice here in leaving this person for these reasons, to improve my life in this area or that area.
That's why you want to make them regret it.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you continue those patterns that have been harmful to the relationship, to yourself, to them, then that's going to confirm to them that they made the right decision, right? If 6 months down the line they run into you and, I don't know, just throwing it out there, you're still smoking, you're still involved in things that have been very damaging to you, or self-destructive.
You're still stuck at the job that you were complaining about for 5 years.
Right. Then that's going to be confirming to them that they made the right decision, or else they would have been there right alongside you 6 months from then.
Absolutely.
So that's something just to keep in mind.
And you personally experienced that years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, in that situation it was interesting because time had gone by, and he was a musician. And I remember at the time I was really pushing for him to get more gigs. I was trying to get involved, contact people. And, the relationship ended because of me. I decided to end the relationship, make that clear. And then sometime after, I had ran into him, and he was very successful in his career. And that was something where I was proved wrong. I thought, man, did I make the right decision here by ending this? I know that ambition was something that was important to me, and I didn't see that in the relationship, but seeing him then, I saw he clearly had that, right? That was definitely in him. He was capable. And so that's just one example.
Yeah.
But these are things that your ex will pick up on and notice.
And I remember, you had lost attraction for him in the relationship because of a lot of his behaviors, and part of it was ambition. But then when you bumped into him, and it was a while later, it wasn't right away, but you were like taken aback, and you were like, I can't believe it. And I was like, you see, because I think this is like maybe you were talking about coming on board or whatever, but you weren't here yet.
Yeah.
And so I was paying attention to watching what someone goes through when all of a sudden they see how their ex has changed and grown. And you really felt it. You were like, this stings. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to do. That's what we're trying to help you do.
Right. So these things are important. And it stung, but I was also very proud. It was also a good feeling. So, proving them wrong, yes, a lot can be done out of spite, but in the grand scheme, if we step back, right, if we're improving ourselves, then that's really a win for everybody. Success to be spiteful.
It works.
There's like a ring to it. But like I said, in the same token, they also secretly hope that you change in the ways that you said that you would.
Yes.
Right? And so being able to see someone's self-determination, that is something that's really attractive. And that's something that's really inspiring to people, even to somebody who's an ex, believe it or not.
But losing out on the best version of you is the best thing that you can create for them, to make them miss you and to make them think, maybe I made a mistake.
Right. Right. And sometimes relationships end because somebody loses that hope that change is possible, right? They become so hopeless. They become so discouraged in the relationship, thinking, okay, man, I tried. Maybe I, brought up this concern or complaint so many times and I've just given up. I can't invest any more energy into this. There is that secret hope before the breakup that you're able to get it. They're able to change, right? So while there might be this feeling of regret of, man, like I wish I could be with that best version of that person, there's still this, they were able to find themselves. They were able to do what they said that they would. And that's something that, I think is always kind of like that happy ending to a story of, wow, I got to see this person's journey and be a part of it.
Yeah. And they will have to sit with that regret. And many times people do not want to regret it. And, a lot of times, your ex will say something to you like, well, maybe we'll get back together in the future. That's that part of them is like, geez, I kind of regret this, but I'm afraid I don't want to completely give up this opportunity. And if you really grow and change and work on yourself and become more confident and improve in different areas of your life, whatever it is that you're trying to improve upon, that hits them hard. Oh, I've lost that person that really I didn't think was going to go into therapy, or I didn't think they were going to ever start that business or quit that job or stand up to their parents or whatever it might have been.
Yeah. Realized potential is powerful.
But disappointment is also very powerful, right? Think about when you're a kid. If, your parents promise you something and then they don't keep that promise, it could stay with you for years, even if it was a small promise, even if it was something tiny. Like, my daughter will hold me to anything, even if it wasn't like a promise, because I am very clear on something, if it's a promise or not a promise. And because she'll be like, you said, and I'm like, hold on. No, this is what I said. So you have to be really clear, because you don't want people to be disappointed, right? Disappointment hurts. It makes you feel sad. It doesn't make you feel good. And so you want to think about how you may have disappointed your partner and what you could do to improve or be better in that area if they come back.
Right. And it's powerful when you're able to do these things on your own. We know that many of you might want to tell your ex about all the changes, and that comes off as very manipulative. That can make them really angry. But what really impressed me in my situation was he did all that on his own accord. He sought out his own success, and that was something that was really attractive to me. It wasn't anything that I continued to push for. It wasn't anything that he had said, wow, look at all of, these achievements and everything that I've done. Do you like me now? It was, I don't care if you like me or not. I'm doing these things for myself. And that was like, whoa.
Yes, and I'm so glad you brought that point up, because this is why we're always telling you, don't tell your ex you've changed, because it feels like you're only telling them to get them back. You see exactly what she said here. The attraction was that he did it on his own. Regardless, it was outside of her. Many of you guys are coming across as like you're trying to do it for your ex, and it doesn't have the same effect at all.
Right.
So you want to make it look like that you're having this success and you're doing all these changes for yourself.
Right. And that's really on the integrity of it. We talk about how in the beginning, if your ex is a huge motivating factor, that's okay. Anything that gets you through the door, that's awesome. But at the end of the day, you want to have that integrity to say, I want to care for myself because I am important, regardless of who's watching.
Yeah.
So.
And one last thing, if you are doing it because you're trying to impress them, it doesn't feel like they've been free. It doesn't feel like you've let them go. And that will really hurt the attraction. All right. So hopefully these pointers and these thoughts were helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can get it on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name in the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.